Hey guys, welcome to another New World video. So it would seem they posted the patch notes for the March PTR today, so let's have a look at them. So once again, they added the Tempest Heart, the Merkguard expedition. This will be the final showdown against Isabella. And as I said before, the expedition is for 5 players and is for recommended level 60+ with a gear score between 550 and 570. They've added to the main storyline, final quest, and more. The main story questline picks up as you pursue Isabella back to the Shattered Mountain. You will get a new final quest to the storyline, the Heart of the Tempest. Apparently, it's also going to offer an additional repeatable quest that can be taken from Mara Rosa in the cathedral just south of the expedition entrance. I wonder if this repeatable quest will give Gypsum orbs like the other quests do in Shattered Mountain. And they've added the new weapon, the Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss is a ranged weapon that offers high mobility coupled with potent close and mid-range DPS. So, as I said before, this weapon will scale off strength and intelligence and will be good for bruiser or mage builds. It has 2 trees. The containment tree is all about close range, and the chaos tree, which will be focused on keeping people far away and AoE damage. And as I said in the last video, there is a new legendary quest associated with this weapon. Now, the exciting thing about these notes is all the additions that they've made to the world experience. They've added paintings where you can visit vistas and paint a picture of the area. It's sort of like a screenshot that you can hang in your house, which is pretty cool. Rafflebones, the loot collector, a new boss. Rafflebones rummages around Eternum for lost treasures and goods. He will spawn all around the map at various levels in every territory. When players encounter him, they will have 45 seconds to kill him in order to get rewards, or else he'll flee. So basically, they've added a treasure goblin from Diablo 3 to New World, which is kinda cool. Level 60 players will be given Obsidian Gypsum on kill, so you're guaranteed an Obsidian Gypsum when you kill Rafflebones, so that's kinda cool. And Rafflebones, if found in a level 60+ zone, will award a player with 500 Umbral Shards. Next we have Stinky the Hunter. Stinky, the legendary hunter, can be found wandering around swamps on Weaver's Fen throughout the day. While at night he retreats to his humble abode. Stinky can drop 3 named items for level 30 players. Stinky's Keepsake, Stinky's Sharpshooter, and Stinky's Hatchet. So that's kind of cool that they've added something for mid-level players. The Forgotten Yeti. So some of the Yetis from the Winter Convergence didn't leave after it ended, basically is the story behind this. The Yetis will drop 45 standard elite rewards. They've now added also roadside encounters. New random roadside encounters can be found along routes in Weaver's Fen and Relentless Shore. They don't give us any further information about it, so that'll be cool to kind of see. A new place called the Unbound Island revamped the layout and the encounter experience for Unbound Island and Cutlass Keys. Go forth and uncover the curse of Benjamin Boatswain's ill-gotten treasure. So basically they've reworked it so that it's for level 30 players and there's new treasure there. Andrometus revamped the layout of the encounter experience for Andrometus and Weaver's Fen. Blight continues to spread from the Lepus, threatening to consume Eternum. This is more content for level 30 players. They've made a bunch of notable world bug fixes. One that's really cool is they've added tier 4 houses to Reekwater and Ebonscale Reach finally. They fixed some more of the places where players were drowning on land. They fixed an issue that was causing some of the gatherables to be desynced from the client. They fixed an issue where players can't accept certain community goals after the refresh on the project board. So basically they're still kind of touching up the bugs. So that's kind of good. It's good to see them getting fixed. They fixed a bunch of bad collisions, bad death planes, camp placements in where camps aren't allowed, flickering or missing textures, AI and gatherables under the terrain and cliffs, etc. They've made a bunch of general AI fixes. They've updated the AI targeting acquisition in the open world. They've introduced a grace period to AI aggro on spawn. This will prevent the AI from aggroing on players until 5 seconds after their spawn begins, or until they are damaged. This delay affects the AI that spawn naturally in the open world. Dungeon AI and AI spawned by events are unaffected by this change. So yeah, they fixed a bunch of the AI targeting systems. They fixed some issues with the Vangarian Knights visual effects. They fixed some sound effects with some more Ancient Guardians. Fixed an issue causing the Invasion Commander not to deal damage to structures. They fixed the Dynasty Summoner so their swords don't float around their feet below them anymore. Reduced the direct damage component of the grid-enabled hamstring attack so it will no longer apply bleed from Timberwolves. They removed the bleed from the Grey Wolf attack. They're just slowly making changes to the NPCs which are supposed to improve them, so it's pretty good. So for expeditions, they updated the queue requirements for expeditions to require 1 person at the entrance while porting the other players in, which is amazing. Fixed an issue where boss music would stop playing after a party wipe in the Dynasty. They updated Expedition victory banners to play unique sound effects. They removed the cage from Simon the Grey. They fixed an issue causing the Blighted Greenskeeper to sometimes kill players who were behind her borders. Fixed an issue causing the Blighted Greenskeeper group wipe ability to kill players who were already in Death's Door. So yeah, a lot of great changes to the expeditions, just kind of tidying them up, nothing major. So for mutators, they have tuned down the difficulty of the named AI while bosses have been tuned up. Tooltips for major curses no longer appear on mutator difficulties less than 9. They fixed an issue that would sometimes stop combustible chains from continuing to chain if they were valid targets. They fixed an issue allowing combustible to deal damage to invulnerable AI. Fixed an issue causing the combustible timer to show the wrong text when hovered over. And for Eternal, they made it so the paranoid no longer triggers on damage over time effects. And for combat, they're finally doing a big one that a lot of us have been wanting to see. In this update, they're making it so that you can have your inventory open while you're moving, so that you can run and sort your inventory while you're running for long runs. I don't know why that wasn't in right from the beginning, but it'll be so nice to have that. The new in-combat system tracks when the player is actively engaged in any type of combat and restricts some actions accordingly. When a player enters combat, their health, mana, and stamina bars will become visible, and a cross-sword icon will appear to the right of their health bar. While in this state, the player will not be able to change abilities or equipment. This replaces the previous functionality that prevented abilities and equipment from being changed while abilities were on cooldown. So they've changed it to be like World of Warcraft or anything where you can't change your sword out while you're actually in combat. I don't know if that was ever something that people had talked about. It's not something I ever thought about. Then they made another big list of general bug fixes and changes. Some big ones are, you have infinite ammo now. That's huge. Players can now fire ranged weapons, musket bow, and blunderbuss. If no ammo is equipped, an ammo counter will not be displayed, but the weapon will still fire. So if you have no ammo now, you will have 1 times damage because they removed the flint, and now it just counts as nothing. So you can fire your gun or your bow or whatever with no ammo, and it'll do 1 times damage. The other ammos do still exist, iron, steel, star metal, and orichalcum, and will still increase your damage the same as they did before. If you, say, run out of orichalcum arrows or bullets, you won't be just out of ammo. You can still fire at 1 times damage, so that's pretty amazing. Ammo weight has been removed, so now your ammo you can carry as much as you want, and it has no weight. And they increased the maximum stack count for ammo from 500 to 1,000, which is huge. And for the charge, it now ends early if players jump into deep water. So it looks like for all the weapons, what they've done is they've made any of your abilities that can speed you up be removed when you hit water, so people can't use it to cross water anymore. They've made a whole bunch of changes to the weapons. So yeah, they've made a whole bunch of changes to the weapons that will probably change throughout the PTR. So I won't delve really deep into those here because I'll just go on and on reading off changes to weapons and that'll get completely boring. So if you want to come and check the weapon you use on this list, or log into the PTR and give it a try, you can see how it's been changed. But the big thing with all of the weapons that has been changed is that any ability that gave you a speed up, like Feral Rush or anything like that, now will be cancelled if you enter into water, like Charge, any of that. They're slowly adjusting a whole bunch of items and perks. They've made a bunch of changes to the game modes, which are kind of cool. So game mode items such as Outpost Rush consumables will now auto-equip to your hotbar when purchased, provided you have an empty slot available. Players can now queue for wars and invasions from their map, instead of going to the place. For elite boss arenas, they've increased the quantity and quality of rewards that players will receive from reward caches from boss arenas. And successfully completing a boss arena now rewards 50 Umbral Shards, which is amazing. For wars, defenders will no longer be able to respawn on points A, B, and C. They can only respawn inside their fort. And they increase the quantity and quality of rewards that players will receive from reward caches granted from wars. For invasions, they increase the quantity and quality of rewards that the players will receive from the reward cache granted from the invasions. And for Outpost Rush, they removed the downstate from Outpost Rush finally. Players will now immediately die when hitting 0 health. Credit for killing a player now goes to the player who kills an enemy instead of the player who puts them into Death's Door. So now you receive points for contesting a control point, and teams can now see the enemy progress towards a corrupted brute token on the map, so you know if they're trying to get them, which is pretty cool. To help the starter beach experience, the Watcher now offers players a choice of 4 weapons from a weapon rack to better suit their playstyle. Instead of starting with a sword, players choose between a warhammer, firestaff, bow, or hatchet. Each weapon also comes with a chest armor, light healing potions, and some rations. So now only equipped items will take durability loss when you die. For invasions, you can sign up on the map now instead of going to the town. They removed the costs associated with moving items between territory storages. Your faction no longer needs to own both territories in order to transfer items between your storages. That's amazing, you can now just slide stuff between storages. Player-to-player collision was removed from the open world expeditions and invasions. Fast travel is now more responsive when traveling short distances. So for quest updates, they've added new soloable quest options for the MSQ to allow players to progress without running certain expeditions. They added the new legendary blunderbuss weapon reward. New faction missions targeting corrupt breaches can now be found in all zones. Starting beaches were updated and weapon racks added. They added Gypsum as a reward from any level 60 quests in Shattered Mountain, Reek Water, and Ebonscale Reach now. They added map pins for trial quest NPCs for the faction advancement quests. They removed the level threshold requirements for the main story quests, and updated the intro to factions to be more streamlined and include new map overhead icons for NPCs. They've added a whole pile of notable fixes, just basically fixing visual effects and sound effects to stuff. For the economy, players will now get back half the original purchase cost when abandoning a house. They doubled the storage bonus for all tiers of storage chests. Chests that used to provide 200 weight of bonus storage now provide 400 weight. Adjusted the description on storage chests to better indicate the benefit they provide. They adjusted the description on trophies to better clarify the actual benefit they provide. They've added new rewards, harvest, log, and mine to uncover hidden stashes of earthly rewards. Elemental motes, coin, and diamond gypsum are waiting to be uncovered when you gather in a turnum. Elite boss arena keys may now drop from enemies in surrounding elite zones. Fixed an issue where expeditions could improperly drop loot intended for areas outside of the expedition. Fixed an issue causing ancient tier 5 muskets to sometimes drop from angry earth enemies. Fixed an issue causing invasion weapon drops to be exceedingly rare. They should now be slightly more likely. This change also makes the named weapon drops from invasions very slightly more likely. For crafting, they corrected the buttercream pudding category to attribute foods. The amount of materials required to craft Elite Arena tuning orbs has been reduced. Tooltips for crafting mods have now been updated to show the proper ranges based on gear score. The crafting mod selector pop-up is now sorted alphabetically. New perks have been added to the world, and they've also been added to items within the world. They fixed an issue where the upgrade option was available for tier 4 items. Fixed the description text for guardian insignias. Wow, they fixed so much. This is crazy. A whole bunch of gear and loot visual fixes to everything. Any of the collisions and stuff that didn't look right. And they changed the daily cooldowns to now refresh each day at 5 a.m. in each server's region time zone. Weekly cooldowns will refresh each Tuesday at 5 a.m. in each region's zone. Every change in this patch is just what we've been asking for. We can now move stuff between towns in our storages without having to pay a fee. We don't have to own the town anymore to be able to move stuff to it. They've doubled our storage spaces from our chests. We get refunded half the cost of our house if we want to move. They've added new bosses to the map. They've added new rewards for gathering. Man, there's you can hunt treasure goblins all day. There's so much to do. So I have to say, guys, there's nothing bad you can say about this patch. I'm definitely going to be on the PTR trying this stuff out and hunting some treasure goblins and stuff. If there was ever a time to come back and give the game a try, I really suggest logging into the PTR. I think they've addressed almost everything I've heard you guys complain about in the comments. You got to recognize when they are doing the right thing, and they are doing the right thing. Even if you aren't planning on coming back yet, you can't say that they're not moving in the right direction. Everything in this list is absolutely what we've been asking for. So guys, I'm definitely going to be on the PTR. I really hope I see you guys on the PTR. I'm so excited for these changes, and I hope that some of you guys are too. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.